is our slide deck presentation for 1.8 for HRS Level 1 certification from Teresa Bunker Elementary HRS Leadership Team.
And this is our data for 1.8. 1.8 focused on the fiscal, operational, and technological resources of the school are managed in a way that is directly supports teachers. So our initial survey gave us a overall score of a 2.6, and this link right here kind of takes us to that survey result and the different areas that were addressed within the survey. And then we had, as we completed 1.8 slide deck, we presented it to our faculty staff and gave them a follow-up survey, which just questioned this one question: does the fiscal, operational, and technological resources of the school are managed in a way that directly supports teachers? And our score increased to a 3.7. And right here is that link that kind of shows the follow-up survey for that. And then our next slide, since our original survey was so low, we declared this as an area of weakness due to the survey results. So we're establishing system and plans for improving our communication and transparency regarding the fiscal, operational, and technical resources. So our staff, students, and parents and community are more aware of how we utilize these resources to benefit our students' learning overall. And these were the lagging indicators that were currently put in place at the time of our initial survey. So we had technology trainings. We had an IT ticket process for the district. So as teachers are having problems with their technology, they can submit an IT ticket. We had P-card procedures in place. So those are purchasing requirements that teachers can use P-cards in order to make purchases for their classrooms. We have a grade level allocation per student allocation for each grade level. We had fundraisers in place, such as popcorn sales. The PTO did a lot of our fundraising events for us. We have our school budget data. We have a purchasing request form that teachers use in order to they have to fill out this form in order to be able to make purchases for their classroom. And then we also have our master scheduling, which just kind of makes the overall operational of our school run smoothly. And these following slides kind of support the data for those lagging indicators.
So these just show the things that were in place, and we do have technology trainings offered through our district. And so these just show an online math resource training that was offered through the district, and an online technology resources and the folders that are there to help support teachers through our curriculum department and our professional development department at the district level.
And these are things that are available so teachers can kind of go back and look for things as they are needed.
And this is our new math adoption, so giving resources to teachers and that professional development was really key, especially this year. The next slide shows the process through the district of technology, IT tickets for request if you are experiencing any kind of issue with technology or have a request through technology. This is how we submit it on the website through our District 91, and then our technology department at the district responds. And we also have a technology person assigned in the building. One teacher is assigned as our technology person and is kind of our liaison with that as well, and assists teachers with technology. The next slide shows our P-card procedures. This is district-wide as well, but obviously enforced through the school. And so teachers have the purchasing card procedures, and they sign off on that, agreeing of how they will utilize that purchasing card. And then they're just kept in the office, and teachers check them out when they're approved for a purchase.
This next slide shows the fundraising effort, the popcorn sales. And as we know as teachers,
I think the next one
I jumped ahead.
That's okay.
We have
That's
our
okay.
grade level allocation funds.
It's the grade level allocations, and so my bookkeeper she's a part-time secretary bookkeeper in our front office, and so she helps manage the budget. And so each grade level received an allocation from the per student allocation budget at the beginning of the year, and then they also have their popcorn sales. And this is just how the bookkeeper at our building manages that and keeps track for each teacher and each team of how much they've spent, so we make sure that we are always in the black.
Now your next slide shows
Okay.
popcorn sales.
There you go.
And see, I was just being true to form. It's popcorn all over the place, right? We do try to have the kids pick up the popcorn, but we are given as classroom teachers an opportunity to have our parents come in and host a popcorn sale on a Friday to raise a little bit of discretionary classroom funds. And so where so much in schools is earmarked or channeled to a specific item, this gives us a chance, whether it be for classroom recognition and prizes, or the fun things to enhance the learning unit, or what extra classroom supplies, things that teachers are often wishing they had or go out and get themselves. And so this is kind of a little pocket of discretionary money, and that certainly is good for teachers.
With everything you need to purchase, absolutely. I was just going to mention too, I know it's kind of is on the other slide, but we don't need to go back necessarily, but with the per student allocation money for each grade level received $150 out of the building budget into their grade level budget for discretionary purchases as well. The next slide shows just our PTO fundraisers. So we've got a copy of the PTO agenda as we're meeting monthly with our PTO and our teacher liaison and principal to plan different events for our school. And then on the right, it shows just an example of our fall carnival and the flyer for our fall carnival, where we had activities for students and families came in. We also fed them dinner. They purchased dinner, and that was a great fundraiser for us as well. Our fundraiser money, if it goes to PTO for this, it would go into the PTO fund, and so they work together and brainstorm, and then we work with teachers to decide what we want to purchase from PTO, and they're currently kind of brainstorming a larger purchase of some kind to benefit the building and looking at some different things, maybe playground wise, and so we're talking about that and kind of saving up right now so we can make a bigger purchase for PTO funds. And then the purchasing request is a form that is just available to teachers, and so they filled out this request and submit it to the principal. This is just permission to request some kind of item from any of the budgets. So if you see at the very bottom of the form, if you click on the form, it will show you that it has options at the bottom. I was just clicking on it myself. Of which budget they want to use for their purchase or whatever that might look like. So they have, if they have verified the funds are available, if it's been approved or denied. But what was I looking for? I was looking for.
You want to click
popcorn.
the account to pay for purchases too. So you have like what account you're going to use of your own teacher money, and you place that on the line. So if it's coming from your popcorn money, we would put that on this line.
We switched that
if it's coming from
boxes. So yes, so if it's popcorn money or if it's your grade level allocation or which budget you would be using to purchase that. And so then I just review that and approve it or ask for further explanation of what that is, and then submit it back to our bookkeeper, and she helps the teachers make that purchase.
Okay. And then next we have our master
scheduling. So yes, with our master scheduling up at the very top, it just shows where all of our grade levels are, if they have specials, PE, music, library, art. They have their blocks of time so we can see building wide where each teacher is, where each classroom is. There's a separate schedule that also has our counselor lessons. Then to the right, then you have our lunch duty schedule of grade levels and when the grade levels each come to lunch for the cafeteria, when they go outside to recess, and which people are assigned to duty and the time frame for that. At the bottom is our morning and afternoon duty schedule for the bus lane and for the parent pickup lane at all of our gates. And all staff members, teachers, and parapros all participate in helping out with our duty and supervision. And then to the right, you see our organizational team agenda. This is our Bobcat team, and they're the ones that are working through a lot of these things. And so on our agendas, we'll be talking about duty and assignments and equity among staff and where we need duty, those kinds of things. They're working through that with our agendas.
Okay, and then because we declared this as an area of weakness, this is our action plans for things that we have put in place this year. So as we mentioned earlier, we're saving up for some of those funds and using some of our matching funds to buy possibly new playground equipment. We have different fundraisers that were in place that teachers that we can use to help save up for those things, such as Penny Wars, Barnes & Noble fundraiser. We have a virtual book fair fundraiser this year. And then we have our Bobcat budgeting information. We had different grants that were put in place that kind of benefited our school. So we had a Christmas book grant that we filled out and received. We always have the grant offering. Then we had different student technology trainings offered to students. We have our technology support person, our digital integration specialist, which is just for our school, which is a teacher that we can go to get support if we need in technology. We have our office communication procedures, which just kind of make our school run more smoothly. And then we also have functional classroom procedures that help each classroom run more smoothly. We had different PD things presented to us throughout the year, such as our HRS Mini Summit PD. We have new math curriculum purchasing, and then we also have curriculum support trainings to help support that new curriculum. And then these following slides just kind of support those, or the evidence to support that those things were put in place.
Excellent. So in the next slide, it just shows we've been talking as a staff about making a new purchase for our playground, and also working with our PTO to combine funds and use some of our fundraiser money, our Penny Wars money, and our matching funds to try to get some kind of equipment for our playground. So currently these are some suggestions that we've got from PTO and from some teachers of some different types of things that we could purchase for our playground to just help improve that and to enhance that experience for our students outside. The next slide shows our Penny Wars fundraiser. So if you click on that, it just shows that we had our Penny Wars. Can you explain how that works a little bit for a second?
Penny Wars is kind of a real fun competition for during the week at school, where you're after that pot of gold. So you bring in pennies, and that goes into your own pot as a positive point, and any silver coins put in are negative points. And that goes on throughout the building each day for 1 week, and then at the end of the term you see who wins Penny Wars. Technically, I guess is the one with the highest positive value. So they had a lot of pennies, but we also kind of recognize the biggest loser, because that means other classrooms sabotaged their pot of gold by putting in silver coins and or dollar bills. And of course, the big overall winner is the school itself. And in a very small neighborhood school, we raised just under $1,000, just within a few dollars of $1,000 of encouraging our kids to,
which is amazing,
round around for their spare change, and would just make it fun and make it exciting. And then having that being attached to something, like they know we might get some benches throughout the school or another piece of playground equipment, it just kind of raises that enthusiasm. Well, the next several slides are examples of the other fundraisers and financial opportunities that were discussed in the action plan. If you click in the link, you can find out more about it, but basically the Barnes & Noble fundraiser is a night where our student council kind of takes the helm, and our leaders and out at the local Barnes & Noble store, and for their purchases that night, a certain percentage.
We get, I think, 25% of the purchases from that night.
As I mentioned, that they're there to support the local elementary school. And then this year we're trying our hand at a virtual book fair fundraiser. So that'll be an opportunity to drum up some money, probably for the library or classroom books. The Bobcat store budgeting. The Bobcat store has been kind of a big cart where teachers were able to
use it as a positive incentive for students in some way.
And whether it were points or Bobcat bucks or whatever they got, they were able to go select prizes. It's kind of been in flux for several years, and we're kind of back on the surface now of at least having funds for it and deciding how we want to use it moving forward.
And we kind of included it too because we're just having discussions about that moving into next year about the Bobcat store and which grade levels are using it currently, so we can kind of plan and have some vision moving forward. Because it is kind of an incentive store that is in a big cart in a closet, and so some teachers give out like Bobcat bucks or different kinds of points, and then allow they can wheel that store into their classroom and get those small prizes and tokens. But we're just kind of looking at the budgeting to see how many teachers are using it, how many teachers want to use that, and if that's an effective use of our funds.
And like in any school, you're going to be able to maximize your efforts if you take advantage of grant opportunities. So we've been fortunate to be on the front end of some of those. Our counselor applied for a STEM grant through the Idaho Environmental Coalition and requested $150 per classroom to be used to buy Christmas books for students. And the grant was accepted, and each teacher was able to pick out books for their students. The MAKE grant offerings, MAKE is a local philanthropic organization that has shown strong support to our schools, and they have their many grants that teachers are able to fill out annually, and we had a couple of teachers take advantage of that again this year.
And then some student technology trainings. This was a classroom. A teacher had invited a technology person from the district level to come in and do a presentation for her students on technology. And so this was just a class on how to use their Chromebook effectively, how to care for their Chromebook, kind of building that citizenship, and then also teaching them some typing tutorials and some tools with ISATs and some different kind of coding things, just making sure that students know how to properly take care of their technology and utilize it effectively.
And one thing that's nice is that digital integration specialist is not just for kids to teach them how to use their technology devices, but the district has worked hard to make that a resource for teachers. And so whether it be you're not familiar with the gradebook program or with the operating platform of a new curriculum, the technology integration specialist district-wide is readily available. You can just get on a website and schedule a calendar appointment with her. She's willing to come to your building. She's willing to come with a small group of teachers that may have the same question, or she'll come do those instructional trainings in your classroom. That's been a good resource.
And then we have our digital integration specialist within our building.
So one of our teachers in our building is also like our digital integration specialist. And so she provides support with students and mostly teachers. I think a lot of her support this year has been with a lot of the math materials, and because a lot of it's online and a lot of those resources, and been supporting teachers with that.
Right.
And then we just have some procedures put in place to kind of help our school run more smoothly for both the office staff and the teachers. So if students come in late, they get a little tardy slip from the office, and then that's just a communication between the office and the teacher that yes, this child has checked in and they have made their lunch choice for the day, so that there isn't any question as they walk in the room. The child just hands you that. And then we also this year implemented our new home to school message center. So if a child is, the way they are getting home at the end of the day has changed throughout the day, the secretary takes the messages, places that in the envelope, and then we as teachers have to collect that envelope at the end of the day to see if there's any notes in there. And then we kind of go through with the child, hey, this is your new way of getting home for the day. And then within the classroom too, just some procedures to help our classroom run more smoothly. One example would be our lunch count. And then this is just kind of a quick way to say, hey, this is what the student is getting for lunch for today. Some teachers use this as a quick way to take attendance too. If they've made their lunch choice, then they are also there for the day. And then the next following slides kind of go through our PD that has been offered.
Yeah, a lot of our PD is offered district-wide. And so this is just an example of our HRS mini summit that we had in January, and all of our teachers attended specific sessions. One was on instructional rounds, so all of our bunker teachers had that training as we move into instructional rounds. And then we also attended kind of a bridging the gap of HRS and PLC session so that we were all on the same page. But that is district-wide professional development.
And then our district also has been going through the process of doing new math and reading curriculum. So last year we kind of worked towards getting a new math curriculum to help support teachers within the classroom. And this was our curriculum adoption from last year that we started implementing this year. And then these were just some training. Since we had a new math curriculum implemented, we've been focusing, our PD this year has heavily focused on math instruction. So we have a math instructional timeline as to how to best utilize your teaching within the classroom to help get those key math times in. And then also some into math trainings that we have. And these were just some notes taken that teachers can go back for future reference.
And I don't know that we delineated it here, but we also had reps come in and model teaching a lesson and then have meetings with our grade level teachers. And so we've had some in-person training as well with our math adoption and support there.
And one thing that's nice about all of this district provided training and support is that it extends beyond the classroom teacher to our paraprofessionals. We are a Title I school, and so there are funds available for both reading and math for our Title I tutors to come in and support.
Right. And I had an elementary reading intervention and math intervention training this year. And then first grade teachers also had an additional reading PD this year, and that was only at schools that were at the lower end economically, that really need that support in building in phonics instruction for those struggling readers.
And then it also just shows that we also have that math and reading for parapros, specific training in reading and math for our parapros, providing that instructional support for our students. And the final picture shows our amazing HRS team. Carly is amazing, Amy and Marie, and I'm behind the camera, but thank you very much. We put a lot of work into all of these slide decks, and we're hoping for positive results, but we appreciate the process. It's been fun and engaging and very productive. So this is the conclusion of our slide deck presentation 1.8 for certification level 1. Thank you.